Ikaw Og Ang Balaod.
Okay, may hapon sa tanan, naminaw karon sa DYSS. Ako si Attorney Carl Ariola ug mao ni ang Ikaw Og Ang Balaod. So karong hapon na with me is Attorney Charis Chapi
Yes.
Piramide, usa ka private practitioner here sa Cebu City, no? And ang among topic karong hapon na is about kaning mga laws, mga related laws concerning mga PWDs. Pero I think we'll be talking about in-depth ang kaning mga recent law, no, nga
Yes.
napas, attorney, no, nga
Sakto.
you're very passionate about kaning Filipino Sign Language Act that was passed last year, I think.
Yes.
October, signed by the President last October.
Yes, October 30.
Okay, so before mo delve in aning topic, attorney, no, kanang I just wanna ask, anong ganahan manggid kayo kaya ani mo mo discuss aning balaura, like asa ni nagikan ang imong passion for
Alright.
for Filipino Sign Language?
Wow. Thank you, Kaya, for that, attorney. But before anything else, I would want to greet everybody nga naminaw sa kahanginan, atong mga amigo sa kahanginan. Mayong hapon kaninyong tanan. O sa naminaw karon, I think naminaw akong family karon, mayong hapon sa ninyo dira sa Barangay Kasambagan. Okay. So, very nice question, no? We always start with a why. Nga no, gyud ko ganahan ani nga balaod. And it started earlier on when I was second year high school, attorney. Kay sa tindahan sa akong mama, doon na siya gamay nga tindahan nga computer shop dinha atbang sa USC Main. Og dinha nang empleyado siya, nag-employ siya og usa ka deaf. Usa ka deaf nga graphic artist. Unya, kataonon kaayo kay wa magid mi kasinatian before with a deaf graphic artist. So kanang kung muhatag sila og instructions with a deaf graphic artist, kasagaran kuhag ballpen, kuhag papel, sulat. Mura gid to. Hantod nakita nako nga naaman sa ni mga amigo di ay katong among deaf graphic artist. Iyang name di ay kay si Glenda Casas, og dunay nakadungog nga iyang family member, palihog lang ko greet niya. Kay gi-greet siya sa kahanginan. So mo to siya kanang naa siya friends sa moadto magpatabang sad, magpa-print og poster, magpa-design og poster. So nakakita ko nga wow, animated man day kay ning mga deaf. Tabian man sa day kay ni sila, Attorney Carl. Nasa day sila yung own language. Ang conception man gud sa mga Filipinos nga ang Filipino Sign Language or Sign Language in general kay kanang dili siya structured. Walay structure, walay proseso, walay system, walay syntax, walay grammar, walay morphology. Pero wa pagid ko, wa panay nako gituon sa una, nag-observe lang gyud ko sa mga deaf and how they would communicate with each other, and amazed ko nga like any other language, it's a language that has to be used for it to be for it not to die. So kadugayan na interested na gid kay ko, nagpatulo na gyud ko sa akong friend na si Glenda. Glenda, tuloy ra ko syempre no, ako ning gisign niya. So Glenda, teach me sign language. Moto hinahinay siya tudlo, very simple instructions kay printing man na gining business. So Glenda, what is print? Ingon sa siya print, save, scan, photocopy, email na. Hantod nga to, nagitudluan ko very simple sign language. Hantod na mas nidaghan na ako, mas nilawak na akong vocabulary when it comes to sign language. So, kadugayan, during break time, tuo ka, Attorney Carl, o sa atong sound engineer, kada among suryaan niya ng love life. Agoy. Kami lagi magkasinabtanay sa office, kaya di mo sila kasabot. So, kami lagi magstorya, uy, you're oyab. Muaray kong, you're oyab. Pati na. You, beautiful. You're batik na nga. Mag-story na gid mi kadugayan nato. So mo to, I believe I developed a very good friendship with Glenda. And mo to, she is my first teacher when it comes to sign language. Good. Muna magpasalamat gid kay ko niya because through her nakamit sa other deafs. Nga daghan man din ni sila sa Cebu. Nya like any individual, they're unique. They have different personalities, and you can always learn a lot from the deaf when you hang out with the deaf. So matunog sugod.
Okay.
Ito nagsugod ako ang love for the language.
All right. So because of the employee no
Yes.
sa inyong
Sa among tindahan.
sa tindahan before nga deaf, so mo tong na fascinated ka, na interested ka kay the way they speak.
Yes.
It's not verbal but it's visual.
It's visual,
aesthetic kanang
manual modality.
so mo tong ni-learn pod ka.
Yes.
So aside from English, Filipino attorney, nana sa di kay lain nga language nga sa imong skill set, which is
Gamay lang yun na FSL. Oo. In fact, kanang wa pa rin ako na try, no, but I would have yet to try this nga. If I don't want to talk to somebody, I'll just pretend I was deaf, not understand. Amang-amang lang ko din. Wala ko kasuway ha, but it would be so fascinating to act as if deaf ka ba. Wala gid ka kasabot. Di ka mo storya sa tao kay mag-inamang lang ka. Katawa mo kamayos.
Okay, so pero ang imong na learn ato before unsa man to nga sign language kanang English, was it unsa man to Cebuano sign language?
That's good. Actually, when you look at the ganda nga klase gid na sign language, na uban I will talk about that later, but I'll answer your question now, that question now. I believe what she taught me at that time, because this was in 1998 and you were already born at that time. It was American Sign Language. I really believe it was American Sign Language. In fact, ang among reference was a dictionary for the American Sign Language. So we'd refer to that dictionary. Nga, uy, okay, unsay sign for this, unsay sign. It was American Sign Language. In fact, she also taught me sign exact English. Nga muna in our, kay murag ni progress naman to, murag dili lang simple, like dili lang bitaw ordinary instructions, but like sentences bitaw, other words, so that you would convey a different message put to her other than instructions sa printing. So we would read, she would download a manual for me, and then she would na basic vocabulary, and then after that basic vocabulary na sentence, sample sentence. So mag sign exact English may example, the person in front of me is handsome. Diba? So that was sign exact English. And then I think I had to learn that because yana sad ko maka-appreciate sa difference when it comes to communicating with the deaf. Kaya di man sila mag-sign exact English. Di man sila maingon, I will go to SM to eat dinner, o dili man. So me go SM eat dinner, ana raman na sila. So I think I believe I had to learn sign exact English for me to appreciate how it is really to communicate with the deaf. So which is shorter na.
So during the 90s mao pa to ang
Mga
English
98.
sign language. So mo nang nangutan ako attorney kay karon nanay Filipino Sign Language Act,
right.
because personally ang ako sang naibaw-an rasad, I thought nga ang sign language is usara gina siya.
That's right.
Like kanang ang ilang gipang buhat, like mo na gyud na, like it's a general sign language.
Yeah, universal.
Universal. So pero karon rasad ko nakaibaw while also reading or researching about the topic for this afternoon, nadi ay lailahi nga sign language. So mo nang naning Filipino Sign Language Act. So my next question is unsa may significance aning napas na ning nga law?
That's a very beautiful question. In fact, it actually recognizes a lot of things, but firstly the Filipino Sign Language came from the French Sign Language family, and then ang French Sign Language family, ang part of that is the American Sign Language moto, because in our history, if we revisit a little bit, even in the early 1900s lang, we knew that Thomasites came, and there was a deaf teacher who came and actually taught American Sign Language established a school here in the Philippines. Muna nating American Sign Language. But the beautiful thing about this piece of legislation that was signed by your president and my president is that it actually finally recognizes the existence of Filipino Sign Language, and it makes Filipino Sign Language as the national language for the deaf here in the Philippines. That's significant because finally the government has recognized na we see a lot of deaf communities communicate, and for us to group them together and say, hey, we respect this language, hey, we believe that this is a language, it's a natural language that you guys use, we will recognize that it's different from the Filipino, from the English, from the different dialects that we have. It's a different language altogether, and it has to be recognized because the deaf community uses the language. Such a beautiful piece of legislation finally, and a lot of representatives, and in fact a lot of the deaf in the community are very happy with it. Okay, finally na recognize na gid, and finally na answer na gid unsa man gid what do we call our language. It's not American Sign Language after all. It's not Cebuano, but it's Filipino Sign Language.
Okay, so although na naman ginagamit nila before, but karon murag the significance is ang significance kay recognize na siya sa karon kay mandate na sa law nga mao ni ang atong gamiton.
Yes. In all government agencies, in all transactions,
when it comes to communicating with the deaf. Okay, so moving forward, attorney, it just came to me nga, although it's called Filipino Sign Language Act, but tungod manggod aning the word Filipino sa Philippines kay daghan tag dialect, no?
Yes.
So ang akong question is, asa man sila nagbase sa ilang official or Filipino Sign Language, official Filipino Sign Language? Is it the Tagalog, or is it the Cebuano, or is it the other dialects in
That's
the Philippines?
Right.
So unsa may asa man nag-base ang official Filipino Sign Language? Kay daghan man gyud kay tag languages diri sa Philippines,
yes.
no?
Mangutan na taana sa nagdukduk sa balaod, no? But because when you read the law, it's absent.
It's absent.
Right? It's absent. Doesn't say anything about it. But I think this is not a stumbling block man said sa balaod, because then again, this is starting to champion the rights of the deaf when it comes to having their voices heard. So here's what I believe lang. 180 days after the passage of this law, they are supposed to, the agencies named, the government agencies concerned, are supposed to make the IRR, the implementing rules and regulations for this act. And I believe it's here wherein they should start to agree among themselves unsa nga kang kinsa nga province or gamiton, like sa Cebu ba, sa Manila ba, sa unsa ba nga may majority nga words, or asa majority gikan ang language, ang signs nga igamit. So I believe to start this, they should come up with a dictionary. So maybe they can ask representatives from the different provinces of the Philippines to come together and make a dictionary. So unsay sign ani, unsa sa Cebu, unsay sign sa beautiful, o sa Mandaue unsay sign sa beautiful, unsay sign sa Manila sa beautiful, o para they could come up, comprehensive gini siya dapat na dictionary, diba, mo detail gyud kung ma-encompass gyud ang signs in different provinces. So I think that's one big challenge nga ato ang, or ilang dapat i-take up.
Okay. I think I noticed manggod kay when you watch for example the afternoon news, no?
Yes.
Like nasa ubos sa screen ay magkuan, diba, mag sign language. So because of the passage of this law and probably the passage of the implementing rules, so ang kanang, for example,
ma-unify na.
So sa Cebuano nga news, lahi man na, diba, sa other sign language po sa, for example, sa Iloilo, di ba?
Naiuban words lang, not all, but naiuban like nuances ng mga lahi.
Lahi. Pero because of this law, are they mandated now to use the official, di ba? Filipino Sign
yes.
Language. So, mao nang mahitabo. Ma-unify na. So, kung asa gani ka nagpuyo, kung asa nga province, mutanaw ka.
Masabtan na tanan.
Kanang dili na lahi-lahi. So, uniform na. Is that correct, attorney?
I think that's what they have. That's what they want to happen ba? Because so I'll give you an example. In Africa, there are about 11 different languages, but they only have one sign language and duha ka book maybe one sign language in Africa. So I hope that's also the vision for this piece of legislation. Na kung unsa man ito yung mga differences gamay, maybe they can settle among themselves and agree kung unsa gi sign that they will use. Pero ang naka-beautiful man gud, this is what I realized when I hung out with the deaf. Sometimes I hang out with them, magtabi lang mi. What I realized is dynamic gid kaayo ang language because they are the people who use the language. Of course, kanang naman sa mga variations that they introduce sa language. That's how dynamic the language is. So, like kung kita, we can use kanang unsay term ginana mga urban or we can use slang.
Slang.
Diba? Sila nasad sila yung mga changes that they introduce because dynamic may kayo
like
language.
Just like in any language, diba? Like we come up with words nga kita rin makasabot and then I think sila sad. So, so although nanay Filipino sign language nga official, but the end of the day, kung unsa ang ilahang murag na andan or the way they communicate, mura sad na ilang buhaton po, di ba? Pero ang ako lang while reading the law, murag naka-realize ko nga murag mo nang i-adapt sa mga certain institutions nga official. So mo na siya, attorney, no? So can you elaborate or kanang explain about the mga relevant provisions sa Filipino Sign Language Act for the benefit of our listeners? Okay.
So daghan the law is kind of short, but daghan gid siya provisions nga mga wow. Very beautiful because again it encourages the use of sign language in transacting business, let's say with the government. So kung naay amang, of course dapat sad tingay ang frontliner sa government kabaw sad mo sign language. So muna ang gi tackle ani nga law because again I think there's ease manggod when it comes to government transactions if kabaw sad ang frontliners put sa government mo sign language for the deaf. So interesting sad kaayo. One of the things nga ako yung appreciate ani nga law is that they are recognizing deaf teachers. And I was taught by a deaf. And lahi ra gyud kayo, especially, and they say nga kung sign language gani dapat deaf gyud ang motudlo nimo. Lahi man gud ang experience kung dili deaf ang motulo ni mong sign language. Dili man sila ang owner sa language. Ang deaf community man ang owner sa language. So, lahi kaayo ang effect if deaf gyud ang motulo. And there's a provision here which recognizes and accredits even the deaf teachers na motulo po sa sign language.
Kaya di ba naman tayo mga kuan, di ba? Like mga schools for the deaf?
Like, mga
is it public or
natay SPED centers actually nga ang ilang gi-cater kay deaf students.
And then ang kanang nasay mga deaf teachers nga employed by the
nasay uban deaf teachers.
So mo na nga law is they recognize na nga ang teachers sad nga deaf kuha na sila
partner sad yun siya to propagate the language.
Pero
pero dapat siya i-accredit og PRC. But it's something I would have to ask pod kung unsaon siya pag
so nang deaf teachers attorney kanang for example is it like they teach the language or is it nga for example I'm a deaf teacher pero I also teach like for example math or mao na ipasabot
I think ang kani sa law is for the language.
For the language.
For the sign language,
Okay.
yes.
Alright. So, napay mga lain mga provisions
Naa pa.
nga mga relevant concerning aning nga recent law attorney kaning Filipino Sign Language Act.
Also to propagate the Filipino sign language, gi-mandate sad nga FSL will be taught in state universities and colleges. Will be taught or it can be an elective day in state universities and colleges.
Okay.
So nindot target
Oh,
kayo.
so ki-offer na siya,
Ki-offer na siya.
as an elective
As
po.
an
Like for example, case, di ba before, like when we nasa college kay, di ba natay elective nga foreign
nga foreign
language.
lang.
So because of the law, naay mga certain mga educational institutions
Yes.
now can offer it as a
Yes.
subject,
Yes.
sign language, just
Yes.
like kay before, di ba, you were just curious about it
Yes.
and you learned it for yourself.
Yes.
But now karon, because of the law, it can now be offered as an
Right.
elective kay
Right.
for people like you po
Yes.
nga wants to learn the sign language, no?
Yes.
Aside pa na attorney, so po may mga nasa law nga mga important nga
Okay.
mga
For me, and this is very practical for law practitioners, no, na among gitay maagian nga kanang kliyente nga deaf. And usually, kani man good, Attorney Carl, ang deaf man good, mas taas silang percentage for abuse, sexual abuse. Deaf women and children, higher ilang percentage. So there are 1 out of 3 deaf women and children who have been abused sexually. So dako gyud kay percentage, but we rarely see or read about cases being filed against perpetrators sa sexual kani sila mga victims of abuse, sexual abuse. So kani atong nakita nga in fact the Supreme Court is supposed to hold trainings for to teach like kanang court
interpreter.
court personnel for them to learn the sign language.
Bitaw kay
Even police, even unsa pa na dira, from the affidavit taking down to the they have to learn the language.
So because of the law, nanay murag
Enforcement.
okay kanabang kay nakabasa man sa good ko sa una gud nga ng mga Supreme Court cases ba nga naay mga for example ang accused kay
Yes.
deaf siya
Yes.
niya, dapat ba na nato i-inform
Correct.
ang accused sa iyahang during arraignment, di ba? Kay bao na to siya nga
Yes.
mao na ang iyahang kuan, mao na ang charge against sa iyaha, but since deaf man siya, so di siya ma-inform sa iyahang charge.
Yes.
So mao na mangita ta o interpreter or
Correct.
kanang kabaw mo sign language. Mo to na kay numdum ko nga since wala man to'y ni proceed ang case, even though nga wala siya na inform sa yang charge, sa yang kay wala
Isa man
lagi.
pabasa ra siya unsa?
Murag kay since
Narating
wala pa niya.
malino.
So mo to na dismiss ang yang na charge na guilty man siya, wa siya ka naka-defense yang self kay walay sign language. So mo na ba then after to ningon Supreme Court nga dili sala sa akusado nga deaf,
Yes.
dapat gid siya na dapat nga sign kabaw mo interpret
Correct.
o kabaw mo sign language para ma-inform mga accused. So I think important sana siya kay mo lagi na kay dili man tanan akusado makadungog ana ba,
Yes.
so dapat sa ang mga nasa, as you mentioned attorney, important yun.
So the SC gani again is supposed to have trainings para court personnel, police, etc. would learn sign language. Gawas pa ana during proceedings, court proceedings, dapat sad na ay interpreter for the deaf. Lingaw kayo ni Attorney Carl kay ang kasagaran manggud ani na mga deaf nga whether accused or complainant baron, kasagaran ani nila they only know home sign. Home sign is not a language, but it is a method for, let's say, a deaf person who has not been exposed to other deaf in the community. It's a method for him to make up his own signs to convey a message. So example, ganiha graphic naman kayo ito, but maybe ang home sign sa bata nga deaf for mama is taas og buhok. Nya ang papa kay mabugbuhok. Nya ang lolo kay upaw walay buhok. Ana. So muna siya ang home sign. So normally what happens, and I've seen this, kanang naay victim kumbaga or complainant siya sa rape, hasn't been taught sign language sa community, only knows home sign, na ay deaf relay interpreter. Okay, so ang deaf relay interpreter would be, okay, duha ni sila. Ang first deaf ni siya mo communicate ato using the home sign. And so nag-communicate sila sa, let's say, victim using home sign. Ang kani siya mo communicate with an interpreter nga usually hearing. Muna na siya mo interpret sa clerk of court or unsa ba na siya sa interpreter or sa huwis kung unsay nahitabo. So there is a deaf relay interpreter. So kani siya again na ay deaf nga maka-communicate home sign. Ang deaf nga maka-communicate og home sign kabawsad og sign language, Filipino sign language, mo communicate sa hearing nga person and then i-relay information. So muna ang usually mahitabo in court cases that I've seen, especially if the person being called sa witness stand, victim baron or unsa, is only knows home sign. So giingon diri nga important yun in all proceedings sa court dapat naagi deaf relay interpreter or interpreter.
So mura siya unsa na siya, attorney, additional court personnel or nalay usa ka court personnel sa court nga dapat mo learn ana?
Ang akong nasanit akong na experience here practically kay they are supposed to be kanang given authority sa Supreme Court. So dapat naagit sila kanang authority from the Supreme Court to do the relay. O gamay ra gid kay na sila here.
Bitaw no.
Gamay ra gid kay na sila.
Kinsa day mga government agencies nga involved aning kaning law, attorney? I'm sure nga daghan kay no.
Daghan kaayo. Ako nganlan sa akong makitaan, Department of Justice, Department of Interior and Local Government, naasay school like UP, Commission ng Wikang Filipino. We also have DepEd o CHED o lagi ni sila.
So sila na ang, as you mentioned earlier, atong mag-come up with a consultative committee with concerning the enactment of the IRR, bahin aning Filipino Sign Language.
Yes, apig Supreme Court ani. Dagdagan in agencies involved.
So
Commission on Human Rights.
Because of this, nakabasa man sa good ko sa law, attorney, as what you mentioned earlier, like for example, if na ay deaf, mo adto usa ka government agency, mo tong mga frontliner, now they must know how to communicate through sign language. Ganahan baka na sila magkataon unsaon baka nila
I'll tell you what, we did a session with some lawyers and sama to mga police. We did a session basic sign language. Nalingaw ra biya sila. But the thing with learning a language, kinanglan gyud nimo praktisan. Kinanglan gyud na kay amigo nga ang mga dali sureta magsain ta para dili nimo malimtan ang language. But ang reception ginamo so far when it comes to giving basic sign language courses, lingaw kay sila. Kanus aman ang sunod. Maglisod lang gid mi sa follow up.
So before pa day na pass ning law, attorney, you have been conducting mga basic sign language nga training to various government agencies, mga police, mga other government offices.
I'm very happy to be part of an organization. It's called Philippine Accessible Disability Services, and one of their projects before was to teach good sign language, to conduct sign language classes for those who are interested to learn. Pero do naman gihapon tay, like what I said earlier, naman sa gitay deaf nga ganahan sa gid putudlo. So if you want to learn the sign language, Filipino sign language, you can call me and then I will tap a friend who is deaf who will teach you sign language. Maybe like a group of 20 is good to start.
Okay, that's nice kay Kay although nanang law pero at least nanay resource person like attorney Pyramide here nga makatudlo basic sign Filipino sign
Amang
language.
mangkuno ko sa kong past life.
Yeah, hapit naman ta human attorney no. So any last words or mga advice concerning aning or in connection aning law or for our although di sila kadungog ani sa radio no pero ganina you were so animated so makita tingin nila online so any last few words for the benefit of our listeners concerning aning Filipino sign language.
Kuyawa anang last words Attorney Carla. Kuyawan man sa But tingali initiatory bitaw ka nang ako initial lang yun na tingali encouragement sa mga tao nga who haven't heard of Filipino sign language or even haven't thought of what this is. I encourage you to if you want, you can learn the language. I'm also encouraging those families who have deaf family members. Luis said kaayo, let's give them justice also. Let's respect them. Let's uplift their dignity oy kay kanang at this point in our lives. Language is a very important tool to convey our message, and Filipino Sign Language is one of those tools to amplify the voices of the deaf in the community. It's also one of the tools wherein we can empower the deaf in the community. If we only took time to sit down with them and understand them and listen to them and hear their concerns, we can do that if we learn to love also the language that they use. Diba? Filipino Sign Language is such a beautiful language, and I believe this is not only for the deaf to use, but it's also for us to use to them. And if we'd only break that barrier of of no communication, we would have a lot of empowered Filipino deaf in the Philippines. There are about 150 in statistics, 150,000 deaf in the Philippines. And if you can just touch each and every one of them, I believe you'd see a change in our country. And it starts by respecting their language, learning their language, and raising the dignity of the Filipino deaf.
And to raise the discrimination, attorney, no, kay marag we always think nga kung deaf gani ka marag
wala
deaf and kung deaf and dumb daw mo na pero dili man na tino di ba kay na may uban deaf nga they're also very gifted, they're also very intelligent, and very just like as you said mas tabian pa day sila kaysa kabaw mo storya so mao na ba nga at least or it's not really at least it's like a victory also for them, di ba? Nga they are now recognized and now they have an official Filipino sign language nga law to cater to their needs, to favor them. Okay? So attorney kanang if na mga listeners karon who wants to contact you or reach you concerning our topic for this afternoon, unsa man ang imo ang email address?
Okay, they can email me at I have my email address for the organization that I work with, kanang Philippine Accessible Disability Services. It's Chappy. It's happy with a C. Chappy, CHAPPY at PADS. That's pads.org.ph. So CHAPPY Chappy at pads.org.ph.
Okay. All right. So mo lang tingin doon nahurot na gid atong oras karon, so thank you kayo attorney Charis Chappy Pyramide for being one of our guests this afternoon. And for our listeners, if you want to catch this episode again, you can always search this online sa YouTube. So i-search lang Ikaw Og Ang Balaod, and then makita ngadto ang mga previous episodes sa program. And also please like our Facebook page, that's IBP Integrated Bar of the Philippines Cebu City Chapter. Okay, and again ako si Attorney Carl Ariola, and mo ni ang Ikaw Og Ang Balaod. Maayong hapon sa tanan.